PAI Partners has stated its intention to sell its 50% stake in Yoplait, the world's second largest yogurt brand, and that generated a strong interest from a wide range of industry players. Yoplait generated dairy retail value sales about $4.2 billion in 2009, and it was the number one yogurt brand in the world up until 2009 when Activia took over. As the latest development over the matter is that Lactalis has made an offer of 1.3 billion euros. However, this offer is with a condition that Lactalis would only pursue the purchase if it can take the majority stake in the brand, which would allow the company to implement its global strategy. Amongst other potential bidders could be Sodiaal itself, which owns the other 50% stake in the brand, or multinational players such as Nestlé, General Mills, or there are some interest from emerging dairy players, for example, Chinese company Inner Mongolia, Mengniu, and Mexico's Lala Group. The international growth strategy which Lactalis is proposing is what actually Yoplait needs. Back in 2002, Sodiaal has sold 50% of its Yoplait business to PAI Partners Investment Fund with the aim to aid international growth. However, not having any major impact on the brand's international expansion, now it's seeking to sell its stake in the brand. In 2009, Yoplait generated over 80% of its retail value sales in developed markets in North America and in Western Europe. Its largest emerging markets is Latin America, with strongest national markets being Mexico and Venezuela. The brand is also present in the Asia Pacific. However, it is concentrated very much on South Korea, where over the forecast period of 2010 to 2015, the yogurt category is expected to contract by 2%. In terms of international market expansion, the best potential buyers would be with strong emerging markets infrastructure, local knowledge, and ability to launch the brand into new dynamically growing geographies, and they would achieve the best results with the brand. Sodiaal may be interested to regain full ownership over the brand. So far, it has only stated that it is not seeking to sell its existing stake in Yoplait, but it remains silent over the matter whether it would like to regain full control. General Mills, which has had the US license for Yoplait since 1977, could also be interested in acquiring the brand. Most recently, it has invested over $100 million in expanding its yogurt manufacturing capacities in the US. However, both Sodiaal and General Mills are in the same boat in terms of both companies' international presence is fairly minor, and they have been slower than most to address these shortcomings. Yoplait would make a very valuable asset in both of their portfolios, but in terms of what they can achieve in international markets, that's very limited for that reason. Nestlé has also been rumored to be interested in Yoplait together with its existing joint venture with Lactalis. They run a fresh dairy products joint venture. If they acquired Yoplait, they are both financially very capable, and in terms of managerial and organizational capabilities to integrate a brand on the scope and reputation with Yoplait would be very capable. And additionally, the biggest advantage it would give to the companies would be that Yoplait has strong health credentials and very good potentials for further functional developments, which would strengthen both companies' presence in the health and wellness arena, which is getting very competitive. Some emerging market players, such as Inner Mongolia, Mengniu, and Mexico's Lala Group, also believed to be amongst the interesting players. Inner Mongolia Mengniu is the fastest growing dairy company amongst the top 10 global dairy manufacturers. Its key growth driver was the diversification of its dairy operations across a wide range of dairy categories, and it also largely benefited from the expansion of its domestic Chinese market. The purchase of Yoplait would provide access to the truly global marketplace, especially with the enlarged consumer base in more affluent North America and Western Europe. Grupo Lala is currently ranked at 16th in the global dairy market, but 70% of its retail value sales is still generated in Mexico. However, in 2009, it has made a large-scale acquisition. It has purchased Dairy Farmers of America, Inc., and as a result became the 8th largest dairy player in the US. So growth via expansion is definitely on the agenda for the company. Both of these players would have good local infrastructure existing in emerging markets, and would benefit from a more affluent consumer base in developed North America and Western Europe. However, whether these companies have the financial, operational, and managerial capability to integrate a brand like Yoplait is definitely the determining factor. Whether Sodiaal decides to regain full control over the brand or any other potential players, the two priorities with the brand must be the very aggressive push for further expansion in emerging markets and driving stronger growth in developed markets via further functional developments.